yoga peeps, Larissa here from Shanti Moves, and today is the first day of our posture tutorial kind of series. And today we're going to learn Sukhasana, also known as easy pose. I don't really like to call it easy pose because for a lot of us, especially when first starting yoga, it's not easy. For me, I had a lot of lower back tension when I did this pose in the beginning. So if that's you too, I'm gonna show you some modifications that can help us feel some ease and strength in this pose. Sukhasana is the classic meditation pose that you'll see. You wanna come down onto your sit bones on your mat, cross the legs one in front of the other. And then you can rest your hands on your knees. And then you'll start to press your sit bones evenly down into your mat. And then as you press down on your inhale, lengthen up through the spine like somebody's trying to pull you with a string from the crown of your head. Shoulders are up, back, and down, nice and relaxed. And then if you just did everything I just said and you're like, I am not relaxed, stay tuned because I'm gonna give you a few modifications. So one of my favorite modifications or different way of doing this pose is using a blanket. So if you have lower back tension, if you feel your body kind of wanting to round in a little bit here, this is really great for that. So you can just take a blanket or you can even roll up a mat. You can fold the back of your mat. Just anything to get a little bit more leverage, and place that under your sit bones. You can also use a bolster or a block and just keep raising it as high as you need to in order to feel kind of comfortable here. It takes a little bit of experimenting in the beginning, so no pressure. And then this also kind of allows the hips to be a little bit higher than the knees, and this can help keep that blood flow going, right? So if you sit here for a while, maybe your leg starts to go numb or your foot starts to go numb. This is also a really nice way to allow that blood flow to keep circulation. And then maybe you're like, oh, that felt really good, but maybe your knees are up here and you're like, they're not gonna open any further. That is totally fine. You can keep them up there as is, or if they're maybe there but it's feeling really strained on the inner thighs there, placing blocks underneath the knees can actually be much more beneficial than just trying to grin and bear it and let gravity try to take it down, because we may not realize it, but our muscles and our brain are kind of fighting against that, and we actually might be tensing and exacerbating the issue a little bit. So I invite you to allow the knees to rest on your block, and that can actually help us kind of release and relax that inner muscle of the thigh a little bit, and that can help us find more length gradually. So whatever way you found your Sukhasana is great. And then again, if you needed to adjust, see if you can come back to pressing those sit bones down evenly into whatever surface is beneath you. Lengthening up through the spine like somebody's pulling you with a string from the crown of the head. Shoulders are up, back, and down, nice and relaxed. You can close those eyes, or just keep them soft, whatever feels better to you. Just take a few breaths here. See if you can cultivate like that grounding, earthing sensation. Noticing the surface underneath your sit bones. And on the inhale, feeling that length reaching up the spine. Beautiful. So this pose can be quite grounding if we've found the right way of doing it for our bodies and meeting our bodies where we're at. One of my favorite quotes that I heard recently is the posture should adjust to the person shouldn't adjust to the posture, or something like that. So it's basically everybody's different, and we have these ideals because we see these other people doing these poses and maybe they look a little bit different than what we do, but that is not the idea, right? The idea is to find sensation within our own bodies and allowing that to kind of cultivate and come forward. So Sukhasana is really great for grounding on the energetic level, and then on the physical level, it's really nice for opening up the hips, strengthening the core, which goes all the way around, right? So not just the front core, the back core straightens and lengthens the spine. Yeah, it's just one of the best poses you can do, and I recommend give it a go sometime. If you have any questions about the pose itself, or maybe I didn't give something that maybe you were hoping as far as modification goes, let me know in the comments, and stay tuned for the next poses to come. Thanks so much for joining. Namaste.